welcome to Newrealities. I'm Alan Steinfeld, and this program is about the evolution of our consciousness. And what we're moving into today is a spiritual society. And with that, we have tools that we can use to help us access our connection to the source. And that's why today I'm talking about malas. I'm here today with Shelby Caffrey, who's made some of the most amazing malas I have ever seen. They're all stones, and they are really tools. You talk about your inspiration behind these.
They're tools, and thank you so much for having me here, Alan.
Of course.
So they're tools. They're all malas. They're all 108 beads.
Well, let's talk about what a mala is. What I know about it is it's like I said, a tool for counting mantras. So there are 108 beads, and you go around these 108 times. When you get back, you finish one with japa, right?
Right, exactly. That's your japa for the day.
Your 108. And so there's 108 beads on each of these.
Yeah, I think it's important to know that malas, good quality malas, they're hand knotted. So in between each bead, each one of these beads represents like your prayer that you're putting out into the world, your wish for yourself. So you want it to be knotted between each bead, so each prayer has its own space. And it's,
I also want to say besides being a jeweler, you're a yoga instructor and a spiritual coach.
I am.
And was there something else that you...
Artist.
An artist.
Yes.
Well, these are very intensive work.
Yes.
But what I have to say, I mean, we can talk about that, is that these malas, when you're doing these deep prayers, they're very personal. And so you want these sort of pieces to be your special thing. And I don't even let anyone touch.
Right.
And because they're stone, the stone really holds the essence of what you're putting.
Yes, it picks up your personal energy. Yes, so when you get a new mala, you want to cleanse it, which you can do by setting it out in the moonlight. And you can smudge it with sage, and then you want to wear it close to you for a while so that it picks up your personal energy and it becomes a part of you.
But so it's 108. Let's talk about 108, because isn't that the spirit bodies that surround the physical body?
The Hindus believe there are 108 human desires. They also believe that there are 108 lies. Lies that that exist in the world that you can tell yourself. And they also believe that a really enlightened Zen person only needs 108 breaths to sustain them throughout a 24-hour period.
Really, 108 breaths?
108 breaths. Okay. So I'm not quite there yet. I don't know about
I'm
you.
not there yet either, but my mala can help.
Exactly.
But these are beautiful. These are actually the nicest malas I've ever seen, because, you put so much time and care. So how do you create these? What's your vision? What's your creative
Well, first off, I only use semi-precious stone. So all of the malas have different healing properties depending on, which stone is used.
Right.
And, I'm a very creative, artistic person. I love color. So I put lots of colors together.
Okay.
And sometimes I work specifically with a specific person and say they have a lot of negative energy in their life. Then I say, okay, you need onyx, which is what you're holding.
Is that why I'm holding one now?
That's why you're holding it.
I didn't think I was that negative a person. Okay.
No, you're not. But sometimes people attract negative.
Oh yeah, I've attracted it to get rid of the people around me.
There are a lot of haters, right? So that can keep haters. There are a lot of haters out there.
I try not to look at it that way, but anyway, I know what you mean. So onyx is used to dispel negativity, and then this stone, which you call the guru stone,
a druzy. That's called a druzy.
Right. And
so if you look at the back of the druzy, you can see the actual stone, and then over years and years and years and years, these beautiful crystals grow. And
then you gold
electroform. Yes.
This
electroform the gold on the edges.
This is very intensive work.
It's a lot of work. It's a process.
And you make each one, and you tie a knot between each of the 108 beads that you put on here.
Yes.
And then, so if you're doing your mantra with the onyx mala, the mantra and the beads themselves will help get rid of negativity.
Right.
And so what other stones do you work with for other types of...
There's lots of things. I'm holding demortarite, which is this beautiful purplish, bluish stone. Demortarite is specifically for to get your voice. Like if you're having problems expressing yourself or speaking your truth.
Oh, like lapis, like it's a blue stone that way.
Right, exactly. It's very similar to that. And so there's lots of things for every different thing. This is called angel skin, this blue stone, and that brings tranquility, it brings relaxation, it gets rid of stress.
Talk about the power of stones to affect consciousness, because people are so into crystals and gemstones these days.
Yes, the stones pick up energy. It's like they have their own life. And the life of that stone, when held close to you, can change your thoughts. It can change your own vibrations. It can change your own energies. And really get you into where you want to be, where you want to be thinking, where you want to be heading. I use them for my daughter. She has all her crystals lined up on her headboard by her bed, and it keeps her bad dreams away. It keeps her thinking in a positive way. So it's great for everybody, kids, adults.
Wow. So you're really a creative your dharma, if you want to call it, is your creativity.
Absolutely, 100%.
And how do you work with that in your life?
Oh my gosh, in so many ways.
Yeah,
I come from a performing arts background, so it started in that way, performing in theater, and now the older I get, it's taken this route, jewelry, and it's been a way for me to really express myself. Like I do wear a lot of lapis to help it get my thoughts and my feelings out.
And it helps.
It helps.
It does help.
Right, it helps. And now this is how I am expressing myself. Like this is a form of me. When I make these malas, I'm not sitting in front of Days of Our Lives, like mindlessly watching some TV show.
What are you doing?
No, I am repeating mantras with each and every bead. So sometimes if someone wants one made specifically for them, they want more peace in their life, they'll say, Shelby, please, when you're beading my mala, repeat Om Shanti, which is bring me peace.
People will tell you what mantras to repeat and
as
what stones
yes.
So as you repeat a mantra with a stone, that stone is energized with the vibration of that mantra. So it's easier to get back to that state of mind when you're holding that stone.
Yes, exactly.
Amazing. It's a technology. It's a tool.
It is. That's a really good way to put it. It is a technology.
And so what results have people had after you've had these malas for them?
People get very, very attached to their malas.
Yes,
it's very personal. It's a process. If it's not made personally for someone, the process of picking one out, people take a very long time. Then they finally pick their mala, they get very attached to it, and they, use it each and every day, wear it each and every day.
I mean, I don't know about the attachment part because Buddha said, attachment is the root of all evil, but it does seem like there's an evolution in our culture that people will be so drawn to gemstones, semi-precious stones, and want a mala of their own. That's a shift from your basic materialistic culture.
Yes,
so,
and I am a yoga teacher too.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm around a lot of yogis.
Okay.
A lot of yogis love malas, use the malas. So yeah, it is. It's a whole culture.
I mean, it's sort of a balance between them getting attached to something else and also freeing themselves. How do you see, as we move, like you're a mother, housewife, and yet you have a spiritual life. So how do you see that bridge between, taking care of the mundane thing and also activating your spiritual practice?
I think foremost, it reminds you to take the time for yourself, right? That's what meditation is. It is a way that we take care of our spiritual selves and our emotional, psychological selves, right? And especially like me, women, we're giving constantly. We're giving in so many places.
Right.
So taking that 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night, to take out your mala, to use it to meditate, it brings back the importance of self-care and self-awareness.
I see. Just having the mala actually might be the reminder that, this is time for myself.
Yes.
And I'm going to go within. I'm going to do this practice of 108 counts of whatever mantra we want. And then actually it really shifts consciousness.
Right.
You know, so we could talk about the different types of meditation, but mantra meditation, talk about that in relationship to like visualization.
Yeah. Well, maybe it'll help. The way that I got started, right, making malas, I teach yoga in Staten Island at a place called Five Borough Power Yoga. It's a Baptiste studio. That's the style that I teach.
Oh, that's a hot yoga.
Yoga.
But not really, not a Bikram hot.
It's not Bikram.
It's almost Bikram.
It's hot. It's a power vinyasa with a very large emphasis placed on community, a very large emphasis placed on empowerment, on personal inquiry. Yeah, it's great. So through there, we have a program called 40 Days to a Personal Revolution, which is a program that Baron Baptiste created. And so that looks at your yoga practice, it looks at your diet, it looks at personal inquiry, really finding out who you are and where you want to be in your life. And there's also a lot of meditation.
And what's the end result of that program? And then we'll get back.
The end result of that program is
what's the goal of that?
Living your best life, being your best self.
And that does happen.
I'm here because of it.
You are. Well, tell me who you were before you got here. I mean, because I want to know. No, because I think that's important to know your personal transformation. So
yeah, Alan, I was stuck. Really, really stuck.
I mean, you had a couple of kids. You were home with is that it?
Kind of. I left a career that I loved.
What was that?
Wasn't performing, but wasn't sure really where I wanted to go. Really forgot who I was. Put all my effort in my children, and through yoga and through this program specifically. I realized I really connected with my spiritual self and realized that this is indeed my path.
What was that moment that helped that where you had that revelation? I'm always curious about that.
That like aha.
Yeah, where you connected moment. Like, oh my God, there's this. Yeah.
I think it's when I saw. Really has to do with people. I was always so afraid to make connections with people, and I was so private, I never wanted to share. And then through that 40-day program, when I started realizing that through my vulnerability really is my strength, you know, and that I am a very kind person, I'm a very gentle person, but that doesn't have to also mean that I'm a victim. That is a source of my strength.
So you were coming out of victim mentality and just seeing like you don't have to be that.
That I don't have to be that, and that it's okay to share who I am and to connect with people and to let them in.
And there was one moment that came to you.
100%.
What was that moment?
When I stood in front of this group of people and shared who I really am. You know, and I lived. No lightning bolt struck me down.
You lived, and not only did you live, you changed in that moment.
Yeah, I began to thrive.
And in that thriving, you discovered your creativity.
Absolutely.
And was that a revelation too?
A complete revelation.
What was that moment?
You know, there's so much meditation involved in this program, and it got harder and harder for me as the meditation sessions got longer and longer, and I knew I needed a tool. So someone suggested to me, hey, Shelby, malas, use a mala. That'll keep your meditation focused. It'll make the time seem not so dragged out. So I got myself a mala.
Just a wooden Raksha mala.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I liked it. You know, it was fine.
Yes.
But I was like, you know, I want some color. I'm girly, I want some bling in there, you know, and I just knew that and I knew that I could do it in a way that would appeal to me and in a way that would appeal to women and people, men too, everywhere. Yeah, so I started to do it myself.
You started to make your own mala.
Started to make my own malas, and it was right off the bat connection.
So when you started to make them, did like you kind of like have this revelation, like this is your dharma or something? This
is what I am meant to do.
And because they're not boring. I mean, I would be very bored stringing 108 beads, you know, and tying a knot.
You would think that, because that's another thing that I do is I teach workshops. So I go into yoga studios and I go into people's homes if they want to have like a mala making party.
Right.
And we string malas. I teach everyone how to make these hand knots. And we start very simple. We're not elaborate with designs like this, but just a very simple mala. And when people make that first knot and see how complicated it really is, they get that look on their face, like, oh no, I have to do this 108 times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, go into your place, come, it's all going to be good. And then they get into the rhythm and they get into the flow, and the pride that they take in their work it's really beautiful.
Well, that's what I was thinking. After you make your own mala and you've created this from just stones, then it's like so meaningful and so personal and so empowering when you hold that and you say, this is my creation. I'm going to use this to help me shift consciousness.
Right.
I think that's a great tool.
I do too. And it's the most joy I've felt is knowing that I'm having an impact on someone's life, that they're going to be manifesting all these wonderful things for themselves through a tool that I've helped to create for them.
Wow.
I love it.
Very satisfying. So then talk about this part of being a spiritual coach, because that's something else you do.
Yeah, so within the workshops that I'll teach, where we're making our own malas, what we typically do is it'll be 3 to 4 hours long. And once we get into the groove of stringing and knotting and stringing and knotting, I go around and I ask the people one by one within the group, Alan, what are you looking to bring into your life?
Okay.
Like where are you? What's something that you are looking to add in? What do you want to manifest?
Right.
And the person will answer me, well, usually it's very vague because they're not very clear.
They won't say like abundance or relationship or like those normal.
Well, they might even just say, I want a man, or whatever it is. But I want to get really, really specific.
But do you give mostly to women? Is that?
There's a lot of women.
Because it's more of a woman type thing to sit and meditate that way, or.
No, I don't think so. I think there's plenty of guys.
Okay.
I think just me, I love helping women because I know where I came from.
That was your path.
That was my path.
Okay, so you'd ask somebody what they want.
What are you trying to manifest?
Right.
What do you want?
And if they're vague, you would say.
I don't know, children, and they tend to be very vague. So within that workshop, we work on really getting clear. What is it that you want? Paint me that picture. Tell me exactly what you see in your mind's eye. Where do you see yourself going? And from there, we develop very personal mantras, and I give them a clear-cut way to kind of find that path of and bringing in what they really want for themselves.
And then do they use those desires as a mantra itself? So I want to manifest this and I'll do it 108 times.
They can. A lot of times it's getting rid of what's in their way. We tend as a society to have so many negative thoughts, so much fear, so much anxiety. And it's really learning to turn that around.
Well, that's the power of the mantra, too, because when you're doing the mantra, and I've done, thousands of them. It's not my favorite thing, but I've done it. No, but there's nothing else that can really get in the mind when you're concentrating on just mostly the Hindu words, but you could do a mantra in any language, of course.
Absolutely. When I sit with my daughter, we'll repeat over and over, like, let me do my best on my test. Let me do my best on my test. It doesn't have to be Om Namah Shivaya. Some people go that route and connect with that, and some people don't. It can be whatever you want it to be, right? Because trying to force words that don't really resonate with you, it's never going to get you anywhere. It has to be your thoughts, your words.
Well, it's very exciting. What do you see, this is a question I like to ask a lot of guests, as the kind of social atmosphere? Are more people becoming spiritualized in this way?
Yes.
How do you see that showing up?
I see men in the corporate world who wear 3-piece suits and work very hard asking me for malas.
Really?
That they will wear under their suits.
Really? That's interesting. So what is that about, you think? Is it just the time?
I think it's the time. I think everyone's feeling that something's got to give, that we need to make a shift in our health, in our thoughts, in everything. And you know what else I see a lot more of? I don't know, maybe you do too. eye contact.
Oh,
Right? Where I walk down the streets here in New York City, and where it used to be, I mean, I know I was guilty of it too. I would never look up. I would look down. And now I really try to connect with people, just anyone passing by, and just maybe a small smile.
Yeah.
And where years ago you would get the quick look away, I don't get so much of that anymore. People want to see each other. They want to connect.
That is great. That is a very interesting observation because it makes our whole world more personal.
Right.
It's like there you are because I'm
Yes.
looking at you and through you and I'm feeling you more.
Right. And it starts with you. It really does. Because where I used to be that person who was so afraid to let anyone else in, I was so afraid to even make a new friend or to really be vulnerable to anyone. I've moved past that, and now I see that by sharing who I am is how I really can be my best self and my greatest self. So you have to be willing to kind of put it out there.
Not to like go back to the past. I'm just curious, why do you think you were that way, so shy, and why are people that way?
I was that. I mean, I was
But
that
what contributed
person.
that? Was there something? I mean, I don't want to get too personal, but I'm just curious what.
Yeah, I think I had some bad relationships.
Oh.
You know, and just kind of got stuck. And
So instead of hiding from those past moments, you went into it.
and instead of being resigned that this is where I have to stay,
Oh.
I suddenly realized I can shift this. Like, change is possible.
And you decided to do that by just becoming vulnerable to.
Right. And we're never too old to change who we are and to bring in a new career. This is a whole new career for me. Never, ever too old. So, like, it starts now. So if you want change,
Yes. Tell those people
yes,
that.
Yes, if you want change, it is possible, and it can start now. And it's just through shifting the story that you tell yourself. Right? So you are perfect, you are good, you are worthy. Those are all things that you need to tell yourself, and you need to believe it, right? And let go of the fear and the negativity and the small talk that we tell ourselves that keep us like stuck in patterns that are no good.
You're a great spokesman because I know you came from that place
Yeah.
where you did have that negativity, and now you're a completely different person.
Yes, and especially I'm a mom. Like, I don't want my daughter growing up, seeing me stuck
Depressed
and
and
not my
negative
best
thinking.
self. Yeah, and now like she sees me. Like, I just finished. I did a big show. I had a booth at Yoga Journal Live,
Right.
which was this past weekend, and she can see her mom thriving and being successful and bringing in abundance. And she even makes children's malas, which are they're incredible half malas, 54 beads, so they're a little smaller for kids.
54
but-
beads, isn't that the rosary beads are 54?
Well, it's half of 108.
But rosaries, they in the Roman Catholic Church,
Yes.
are those 54 beads?
I think that they are.
I think they are too. It's interesting. And then these
Yes.
malas are 108.
which is double.
Right.
Right.
So, well, it's amazing your transformation. You ever get attached to any of these? Like you say, oh, you put so much work, because some of them are so beautiful and so complex.
Thank you. I do. I get very attached to them, but I get so happy when I see these beautiful people that come and take them to their new homes. It makes me really, really happy.
So you never like make one and say, I got to keep this one.
The one that I'm wearing is pretty much mine.
What was so special about that for you?
It's amethyst, which is not only, it's light and dark amethyst, which is not only my birthstone, but amethyst, it's a power stone. It brings you power, and it's also the stone of creativity.
Oh.
So, being a creative person, it's a scary thing, because when you put your art out into the world to be judged,
Yeah, that's vulnerable.
It
Yes.
is. It's very vulnerable, and you never know how it's going to be received. And so it brings me confidence. And
Yeah, no, let's just talk a little bit about creativity, because that's a subject that I'm interested in. I create, and because everyone's a creative person.
Yes.
So what's the key, do you feel, to activating creativity?
I think it's exactly what you just said, knowing that we are all born creative people. So whether you are, a teacher,
You can touch.
Right? Right. Yeah, whether if you're a teacher, if you're a dentist, right, whatever it is that you are doing, you have a creative gift. Like you have a way of going about your task that's different from every other person on this earth. So you need to embrace that and glorify in that and bring it out and just celebrate who you are and your own unique way of doing whatever it is that you do.
Exactly. Don't be afraid of your visions, of your originality, because that's the key to our collective evolution.
It is. I hear too many times people saying, "Oh, but Shelby, I'm not creative at all." And it's like, yes, you are. We are all creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be with paint and a brush.
Right.
You know, it's your own way
Yes,
of
look
doing
at
what you
these
do.
things. Thank you so much for being here and
Thank
being
you.
part of this movement towards awakening.
Yes.
You do special events, which I think is really beautiful. How do you work at special events?
Yeah, so if you have any kind of event where you have like a gathering of people, you can call me and I will come in and I can lead a blessing at the beginning of your event. I can lead a meditation. And what it does is it creates that sense of community. So whoever's there gathered, it gets everyone on the same page. It gets everyone excited for the event that they're about to participate in. And it gets everyone loosened up and ready to go. And it reminds everyone to be grateful and to have that sense of community.
Let's do just a quick blessing now to like close out the show, okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, so bring your hands to prayer at heart center. Yes, and I like to even press my thumbs into my heart chakra so you can feel your own vibration, right? And we can take a big inhale and just one Om. And bring your thumb knuckles to your third eye center. Yeah, and just tilt your prayer up to the universe and say thank you. I'm grateful for everything that has been given to me, and bring in abundance and light.
So be it.
Yes, namaste.
Namaste. I see the God within you.
I see it within you.
Thank you, because you know what you've done is activate your divine potential and giving that divinity potential to other people.
Yes. Yes. And it's important to point out that it's not religious. Like I think people tend to get stuck on that. Like they know, but I'm not religious.
No, that's an old thing. Spiritual but not religious is the largest growing movement in the world.
Exactly.
So
absolutely.
we're getting rid of religion and connecting to what religion was all about.
Yes.
Which is the spirit.
Yes.
So yeah, mantras, all that, malas, they're tools for our own diving into who we are, our sacred self.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Shelby.
Thank you, Alan.
Okay. So your website is Little J Malas.
littlejmalas.com.
And J is for your daughters.
Yes, and my two J's.
J-A-Y?
Yes, little J-A-Y Malas, M-A-L-A-S.com. And I have there's lots of mantra ideas on there, ways that you can order, ways that you can contact me, and I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you.
I can't wait to use my first Little
Please
J
do,
Mala.
yes.
Thank you. Thanks for being a guest. I'm Alan Steinfeld for Newrealities. If you want to reach me, go to my website, newrealities.com, or email me with ideas, suggestions, new guests, new ideas at newrealities@earthlink.net. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
That
you
was
so
good.
much.